Now, one of the badass pieces of equipment we have here at the Man Cave is the Prowler. You'll see us do it in our plyos, you'll see us do it in our finishers, our strongman medleys, but what I really like to do is to really start the dynamic warm-up right with different variations of sled drag. So let's take a look at how we're gonna do this. First variation we're gonna do is the typical backward sled drag. We're gonna do this for probably 50 feet, and it's really simple. Just stay nice and tight, drag it backwards. The next variation of sled drag we're going to do is much like the backwards drag, but you're simply turning around and dragging it forwards. Stay nice and tight. Same thing, about 50 feet, good to go. The next variation we're going to do actually incorporates just as much of the upper body as the lower body. It's a typical sled row. So you're going to sit back, get a good stretch in your back, throw it back. Continue with our lower body sled work. The next thing we're going to do is a plain old sled push. You're going to stay nice and tight, keep the upper back tight, and drive with your legs. Kick back. Same thing, 50 feet and you're good to go. Another variation of the sled push actually incorporates more of the upper body as well. It can almost be classified as a plyometric movement. What you want to do is stay nice and tight, load up, and throw the sled. Load up, throw the sled. Now, if you're training at a pussified gym that doesn't have a sled, you can still get the benefits that the sled gives you. First off, to get blood flowing like the sled does, you can do just a body weight squat. Nice wide stance, about 10 or 15, squat back, not down, hips back, parallel or lower. Another thing you can do for the unilateral movement is do a lunge matrix. So forward, side, alternate leg, right there. About 5 in each direction, 15 squats, and you're good to go. Now, after getting a good amount of blood flowing to the lower and upper body, what we want to do is work on hip mobility. So what we do here at the Man Cave is get our guys to go through the hurdles and really work on that opening up of the hips. So we're going to go under, bring the knee straight up and over. All the way back. Just like that. Now, if you don't have hurdles, no problem, you just gotta improvise a little bit. Set up a bar on your Smith machine or whatever you have at your Globo gym and just go over. Bring your knees straight up. About 10 per side. Same thing with going under. Push our hips straight back, stand up, back over. Keep your head and chest up, push your hips back. Do about 10 of those per side, you're good to go. Now, we just completed our hurdles and other mobility drills. Now what we're gonna do is what's called a knee hug into a lunge. It's gonna continue to stretch all the areas surrounding the hip and also work on your balance. So what we're gonna do is grab our knee, pull it up to our chest, drop into a lunge. Bring it right back up to the other leg, drop into a lunge. The balance comes holding that spot right there. We're gonna do that for about 50 feet and move on to the next drill. What we have next is what's called the B march. The B march is pretty much going to be me kicking my leg up, staying nice and loose. It's going to stretch my hamstrings and my lower back. So what we want to do, opposite leg, opposite hand. Step, step. With each one, we want to get higher and higher. The next stretch we're going to do is pretty much a continued version of the hurdler stretch. What you're going to do is basically come straight back, right here, step, back, back, trying to get lower with each successive one. It's going to work on stretching your groin, hamstrings, and further stretching your lower back. Now, you'll notice I don't do many static stretches in my dynamic warm-up, but one that I do like is the hip flexor stretch. What I like to do is if you're just beginning, you're pretty tight, just a simple stretch right here will work. Get to your range of motion and hold it for a good 15-20 seconds. Now, if you're a bit more advanced, more flexible, what you can do to increase the work with it is elevate your back leg and stretch right here. You should get a good, nice stretch right in the hip flexor with the one with the foot that is back. Hold it for about 15 seconds, 20 seconds, and you're good to go. The next thing we're going to do is one of my favorite stretches. It's called a rollover. There's 3 different variations we do, and the reason I love it is because it stretches the hamstrings, lower back, and really just kind of decompresses while also getting some synovial fluid running through your spine. So let's first look at the straight leg variation of the rollover. We're going to bring our feet straight back, stretch forward. Now, do about 10 of those, and then what you're going to do is move into the wide leg version. So basically, same thing, just legs out. And the last one is going to be basically in the Indian style stance. So straight back. When you're doing these, focus on your breathing. When you kick back, that's when you want to take a deep breath in, and when you come forward, take a deep breath out. With each one, try to stretch as far as you can. Now, all the myriad of different stretches and exercises we've done to this point have worked on mobilizing the hips and all the muscles surrounding them. Now what we're going to do is activate the muscles surrounding those hips, because those are the ones we're primarily going to work with throughout our workout. The first one we're going to do is called a bridge. You're going to lay down and pull your hips straight up. Hold for a split second at the top. The more it looks like you're humping the ceiling, the better you are. Do about 10 to 15, you're good to go. Now, the bridges are great at just working on the sagittal plane, but when we want to work lateral movement as well, we need to increase our range of motion. So what we're going to do, the first one is while being on all fours, we're going to do what's called a fire hydrant. While arms are straight, one knee down, you're going to keep your leg at a 90-degree angle and bring it straight up. Want to try to get it as high as you can without dipping. about 10 to 15 per side, then you can move on. The next exercise we're going to do to really increase our range of motion of the hips is going to be what's called the bird dog. Same movement, or same stance rather, as the fire hydrant, but we're going to kick our legs straight back and bring it over a fence. Straight back, bring it over a fence. Same thing, about 10 to 15 per leg, then we're moving on. The last item we have on our lower body dynamic warm-up is a variation of the common Superman stretch. What we're gonna do is, unlike the common version, where you come straight up, is you're going to retract your shoulder blades and pull your arms straight back. So this is what's gonna look like. Hold at the top. Do around 10 to 15. With each one, you're trying to get higher and higher.